Regulatory Standards Bill. Closing date for submissions is 1 p.m. Monday, 23rd of June, 2025. The bill aims to support Parliament's scrutiny of legislation and its oversight and control of the use of delegated powers to make the legislation. The bill would achieve these objectives in 4 ways. It would introduce a set of regulatory principles that new and existing regulations would be measured against. These include the rule of law, personal liberties, taking of property, taxes, fees, and levies, and other role of courts. Reading's hard. Responsible ministers. Administrating agencies and other makers of legislation would be required to assess consistency of proposed and existing legislation against these principles. Ministers as well as makers of secondary legislation would be required to publish or present to the House of Representatives the result of those assessments. The bill would also establish a regulatory standards board to independently consider the consistency of legislation with the principles. The members of the board would be appointed by the Minister of Regulation. The board would carry out inquiries into whether legislation is inconsistent with the principles following a complaint at the direction of the Minister or its own accord. Finally, the bill would strengthen the regulatory oversight of the Ministry of Regulation by requiring the Ministry to report on the overall state of the regulatory management system. It would empower the Ministry of Regulation to require agencies to supply information as a part of its oversight of the regulatory management system. This would include public service agencies, makers and administrators of secondary legislation, and agencies and contractors that perform a stationary function. This is some submission thing.